Hey everyone. So we're going to get started. Hope everything's going well for you. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's get started on. I'm going to actually break this lesson into several parts. Okay, we're going to cover this over the course of about 3 days because there's a lot involved in this one. Okay, now this first one is actually pretty simple. Okay, this is 9-3. This is part one, and this is area of composite figures. And this first part is made up of rectangles and squares. Okay, now when we talk about composite figure, a composite figure basically means it's a figure that's made up of one or more figures. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that. A composite. Oh, by the way, I'm going to write the date. 4/6/20. Okay, a composite figure is a figure made up of two or more shapes. Okay. And as I mentioned today, the two or more shapes are going to be rectangles and squares. Okay. So our objective for today, our objective is students will understand how to find area of a composite figure by, this sounds funny, but it's what we're going to do, by decomposing. Good thing I kept going after that. I wouldn't want to just stop after decomposing. Duh. Okay, we're going to find the area of a composite figure by decomposing the figure into shapes that we know. Okay, so I'll give you a second to write that down. So basically, if these are composed of, oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay, these are composed of rectangles and squares. Do you guys remember how to find the area of a rectangle? Of course you do. Okay, rectangles and squares area equals base times height. Okay, it's the same thing for either one, right? Okay, and when we have a figure, well, okay, if I have a rectangle, you know how to find the area of it, don't you? Okay, if I have a square, you know how to find the area of that. Okay, so what we're doing, what we're going to see is figures that are made up of these shapes. Okay, but they are one figure. Okay, this is not going to be something that we have a single formula for. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to think of this not as one big figure, but we're going to think of this as two figures that we can break into things that we already know. Okay, so if I did that, I really have two rectangles here, right? So let's give this some dimensions. Let's say that all we're given, let's say this is 10 inches. Let's say this is 11 inches. Let's say this is 5 inches. And let's say this is 8 inches. Okay, so if I think about this, what is this made up of? This is made up of two rectangles, okay? And while I don't, if I was going to find the area of this first rectangle, okay, I'm going to highlight this first rectangle because that's what I'm going to try to find, okay? So I'm going to find the area of this rectangle right here, okay? Well, in order to find that, what do I have to have? I have to have a base and I have to have a height. Well, the thing is, I don't have a true base here, but I do have one up here, don't I? And again, it's a rectangle, so they're the same on both sides. So I know I have area equals 10 times. Now, I have to find the height of this. Well, the problem is this 11 over here, this is the height from here all the way down to here, isn't it? That's not going to work. So what I need to do is figure out how I can figure out what this is so that I can have my height. Well, I know that from here all the way to here is 11 inches, but I also know that because of this whole thing is 11 inches, I know that from here to here is 5 inches, isn't it? So if this whole thing is 11, if from here to here is 5, then what must this be? I take 11 and I subtract 5. This has to be 6 inches, doesn't it? Okay, because this 11 stands for the entire side. So now I have a 6 for this to this. So my area of this first rectangle would be 60 inches squared. Okay, so I've got that first part done, 60 inches squared. Okay, but now I got to come back and I've got to find the area of this rectangle, which is on the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to do this one in a little different. I need to find the area of this rectangle. Well, what I know is this, the height of this is 5. So I have area equals base times height. I have a height of 5, but I don't have a base. I need to find out what this to this is. And it's not given to me, or is it? I know that from here all the way to here is how much? That's 8 inches. But from here all the way to here is 10 inches. So from here to here is 10, and from here to here is 8. What must this be? This must be 2 inches because this and this are going to equal this. So now I have a base of 2. So I'm going to multiply these. 2 times 5 gives me 10 inches squared. Well, I am trying to find the area of the entire figure. So if I have the area of this, I know it's 60 inches squared, and the area of this is 10. What am I going to do with those? I'm going to add them together, exactly. So the area of this entire figure would be 70 inches squared. Okay, does that make sense what I did there? It's actually pretty simple once I get all of the parts figured out. Okay, the other thing that we're also going to be finding on this same shape is what we call the perimeter. Now, the perimeter is basically the distance. If I started right here, let's say, I'll do this in a different color. Let's say I started right here and I walked all the way around this figure. Okay, that's the distance around. So from here to here is 5. From here, let's see, I'll follow it along with a highlighter. Okay, so I've walked from here to here, that's 5. And then I want to walk here to here. Well, that's 8. Then I'm going to walk from here to here. Well, we already figured out that's 6. Then I'm going to walk from here to here, and that's 10. Then I'm going to walk from here all the way back to here, and that's 11. And then I'm going to finish off this last little portion, which we know is 2. Okay, so all I'm going to do for the perimeter is add these all together. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 19. 19 plus 10 is 29. Plus 11 is 40 plus 2. This is going to be 42 inches. But this is not area, so we are not going to make this a square unit like we did with area. Okay? So the perimeter of this figure would be 42 inches. The area would be 70 inches squared. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to try one more, and I want you to try it on your own, and then we will see how you do on your worksheet. Okay? All right. Okay. So let's say I've got another figure. We'll do one kind of similar to that last one. Okay. Let's say this is my figure here. Okay. So let's say that I am tasked with finding the perimeter and area of this figure. Well, obviously this is another composite figure, so it's not going to be one single formula that's going to work for this figure. So I'm going to have to figure out, what is this made up of? Well, it looks like it's made up out of two rectangles. Okay, so let's give this some dimensions. Let's say from here to here is 8 feet. Let's say from here to here is 4 feet. Let's say from here to here is 5 feet. And let's say this is 2 feet. Okay, so we're going to be able to use what we have here to find these missing dimensions, can't we? Okay, so let's say we know, in order to find the area of these rectangles, we're going to draw a little fake line here. Okay, let's find the area of this rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to write my formula. Area equals base times height. And I know I have a base of 8 because this is going to be the same as what's down here, isn't it? Okay, so I have area equals 8 times, now my height. I got to find out what this is. But I know that this is a little bit off as far as my drawing, but just, bear with me. From here all the way down to here is how far? 4 feet. But from here to here is 2 feet. So what must this be? This has to be 2 feet, which means this is also 2 feet. So I have a height of 2. So what's my area of this portion? Oops, sorry. My area of this portion of this composite figure. 8 times 2 would give me 16 feet. What? Don't forget, squared. Okay? So I have 16 feet squared for the first part. Now let's go down here and let's find the area of this part. Down here. Okay? Well, I know that I have to have area equals base times height. Well, I don't have a base here, but I can easily find it, can't I? I do have a height of 2, so I can put that in a 2 in there. Well, I know that from here to here is how long? 5 feet. And I know that from here to here is 8 feet. That means that if I go from here all the way to here and I've gone 5 feet, how much further would this be? That's right, 3 feet. Okay, so now I have a base here because a rectangle, the top is going to be the same as the bottom, so this is also 3 feet. So if I multiply these, I have 6 feet squared. Now I have my two areas, and if I add those together, the area of this entire figure would be what? 16 plus 6 would give me, this would give me what? 22 feet squared. My only other thing I need to find is the perimeter. Okay, so let's go back and find the perimeter. And if I remember, I'm going to go a section at a time. Okay, and let's just start up here at the top this time. So I'm going from here all the way to here. And what does that give me? That gives me 8. Okay, so I'm going to do the perimeter down here. 8 plus from here all the way down to here is what? 4 plus from here to here is 3 plus from here to here 2 plus from here all the way back over here is 5. Then the last section from here back up to the top, I have to go back to what I found. It's not going to be 4. Remember, this was 2 and this was 2, so this is also 2. Now let's add all of these together. 8 plus 4, 12, plus 3, 15, plus 2, 17, plus 5, 23, plus 2, 25 feet. And don't forget, it's not going to be squared. So the perimeter of this figure is 25 feet. Okay? Again, you can go back and watch this video and pause and rewind as many times as you'd like. And I would advise you to do so if you're a little bit fuzzy on the directions here. Okay, your worksheet should be attached. Please make sure you show all your work and label everything correctly. Okay, bless you guys. I hope you have an awesome day, and we will talk to you next time. Peace.